ask Caitlin Clark, hey, Caitlin, are there any player trades you like to make? Nah, I'm kind of set with my team, but I would like to trade coaches. I like it. I don't know what's gotten into Caitlin Clark. You are leaning into this bad guy role. I love it. I don't know what's gotten into you, Caitlin Clark, but you've been on some I don't give a F lately. I love it.
And let's be honest, if Cheryl Reeve's team had landed 3 All-Stars, we wouldn't be hearing a single peep. There'd be a parade down memory lane, confetti made from old playbooks, and probably a LinkedIn post about how culture wins championships. But the moment the spotlight skips her squad, suddenly, we're in an emergency ethics summit about integrity and values. Please. The only real emergency is the PR disaster of trying to look gracious while internally combusting over someone else's moment. It's always funny how quickly teamwork and merit turns into this is rigged. When the votes don't go your way, the system is broken, but only when it breaks from the same tired, recycled power structures that used to run unquestioned. The league is evolving. The spotlight's broader, the attention louder, the moment's bigger. But heaven forbid that attention doesn't perfectly align with the legacy egos that once ruled uncontested. Cheryl isn't fighting for fairness, she's wrestling with irrelevance. And deep down, everyone knows it. There's a distinct flavor to this kind of outrage. It tastes like someone watching the game evolve in real time, caught in that paralyzing limbo, adapt or throw a tantrum, and Reeve chose tantrum. Because when your entire identity is built on being the smartest person in the room, nothing stings more than realizing the room moved on and didn't even text you the new address. The fever is rising literally. Meanwhile, Cheryl's stuck in a snowstorm of her own expectations. Watching her unravel over a list of names read off at halftime feels like watching someone scream at a touchscreen kiosk because it won't recognize her resume. Bonus irony, she's the coach of Team USA, the same team Caitlin Clark was infamously snubbed from. And no, she wasn't on the selection committee, but plenty of people believe her fingerprints were on that decision anyway. And yet, fate loves a flex, because when all-star lineups were announced, Clark wound up flanked by her own teammates Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell. That trio, set to light up Indianapolis together, it's poetic, it's powerful, it's progress. The WNBA is finally having a moment, and instead of cheering it on, some people are too bitter to clap. They'd rather see the movement stall than celebrate the players pulling it forward. This isn't just sour grapes, it's a whole vineyard. Grape juice, grape jelly, fermented into bitter vintage wine. And somewhere, deep in Cheryl's competitive heart, she knows it. But admitting that would mean acknowledging the unspoken truth. The game has evolved past her blueprint. Winning isn't enough anymore. Charisma matters. Visibility matters. Relevance matters. And if your brand can't compete in that arena, no amount of screaming into the all-star void is going to change a thing. The truth is, the fever earned every drop of this spotlight. Whether by design or chaos, they became the nucleus of the WNBA conversation. And Cheryl, she became the angry side character yelling from the bleachers, reduced to a reaction meme. It's not a good look. It's giving the 1007 called and wants its playbook back. And sure, maybe she's technically right about a few things, but no one's listening. Because no one wants to hear the person who just lost tell you why the winner isn't that impressive. That's not analysis. That's ego in a cheap suit, pretending it's still running the show.
The WNBA All-Star Draft was fun between Caitlin Clark and Napheesa Collier, the team captains, picking the players, picking the rosters. But the most interesting aspect was the coach swap, because Clark traded Cheryl Reeve, who was the coach of her team, or was to be the coach of her team, to Collier for Sandy Brondello, the coach of the New York Liberty. Of course, Reeve is Collier's head coach for the Minnesota Lynx, so that makes sense. But the drama is going to come from Reeve having previously been critical on social media about the amount of attention Clark received relative to the rest.
Disguise. That's what it is. All this talk of fairness, respect, balance, just camouflage for something much simpler. Control slipping away. Because when the dust settles, the all-star game will go on. The fans will cheer. The fever will bask in the spotlight. And Cheryl Reeve, she'll still be standing there, furiously trying to rewind a clock that doesn't care she said it. The drama in this league is no longer just about basketball. It's a telenovela in sneakers, a weekly saga that levels up with every plot twist. One week it's a missed foul call, the next it's an Instagram unfollow that sets Twitter on fire. Cheryl Reeve was supposed to coach Caitlin Clark in the All-Star game. Nafessa Collier was supposed to be coached by Sandy Brondello, but they swapped, and somewhere behind the scenes, you can almost hear Cheryl saying, "Thank God," because coaching Caitlin Clark, that's a pride-swallowing event she clearly wanted no part of. You can imagine her pacing, whispering to Fee, "Please, I can't do it. I can't be the face standing next to her while that book drops. You know what people will say." Now, she's storming out of the All-Star committee like her favorite soap opera got canceled mid-season. But the WNBA isn't soap, it's spectacle. It's side eyes, savage quotes, and three-point daggers thrown with the accuracy of high school gossip. It's exhausting, and yet, it's perfect. Here's the twist that keeps getting lost. All-Star Weekend isn't the finals. It's not about grit, grind, and defensive switches. It's not for coaches diagramming rotations in hotel lobbies. It's for the fans. It's the halftime show of the entire WNBA season. It's glitter, stunts, selfies. Maybe a spicy dunk if someone's feeling bold. And once you accept that, all this outrage about who got in starts to feel like someone throwing a tantrum at a birthday party because their cake only had one candle. What Reeve and others in her crusty echo chamber don't understand is that fans don't vote with spreadsheets. They vote with heart, with hype, with hashtags. If All-Star Weekend was really about pure basketball performance, then send it to a windowless room full of joyless statisticians and let them build a dream team. But that's not fun. That's not the brand. The brand is vibes, period. Let's talk about Caitlin Clark's picks for a second. She didn't pick rivals. She picked her friends. She picked people who had her back, no ops, no drama. Gabby, Williams, Sonia Citron, teammates, supporters, allies. It wasn't about stats. It was about trust, comfort, and chemistry, and that's not wrong. That's human. That's relatable, because All-Star games aren't about proving who's elite. They're about celebrating who's loved. And no, this isn't some new corruption of the process. Let's not pretend the NBA has ever been a paragon of objective voting. Zaza Pachulia almost made it once, and yet here we are, clutching pearls because Clark's fans showed up, took over, and made noise like it was a grassroots political campaign. That's not breaking the system. That is the system. Caitlin Clark's popularity isn't a glitch. It's a shift, a wave, a generational movement. You don't have to like it, but you do have to accept it. Because pretending this is about basketball purity when it's really about relevance, that's exhausting. The WNBA didn't suddenly become shallow, it became popular. And not everyone was ready for what that means. And Cheryl Reeve, let's not pretend she's been neutral. She's the same coach who, according to many fans, helped keep Clark off the Olympic roster. The same Cheryl who deleted tweets after Christine Brennan's explosive book dropped. The same Cheryl now watching the very player she dismissed become the nucleus of the WNBA universe. And to make it funnier, Clark traded her coach. Yep, she was supposed to play for Reeve and now she's under Sandy Brondello. You couldn't write a better script. Team Caitlin gets the fever trio, the Indiana crowd, and all the momentum. Reeve gets to coach against the very force she tried to downplay. But here's the bottom line. The fans are driving the bus now, not the coaches, not the committee, not the old school gatekeepers who still don't understand how trending topics work. The moment the WNBA cracked open the door to mass appeal, the crowd rushed in and they're not asking permission. They're not here for lectures about who boxed out better or who posted the best plus, minus. They're here for moments. They're here for the show. So if that All-Star roster looks more like a Coachella lineup than a defensive-minded dream team, good. Stop trying to turn a party into a purity test. This isn't the Oscars of basketball. It's the summer blockbuster, and nobody buys popcorn to watch a spreadsheet. Respect isn't handed out like awards at a banquet, it's earned in the marketplace of attention. And Caitlin Clark, she's the economy right now. She's Amazon Prime. She's the moment. The fans showed up. They bought the jerseys. They filled the seats. They voted. And no amount of eye-rolling from legacy coaches is going to rewind that clock. The WNBA is finally under the microscope, and not everyone likes what they see. Because it's easy to dominate in silence. But the moment the lights hit, you either shine or you squint. The league asked for relevance. Well, here it is. Messy, loud, beautiful, and completely unstoppable. So let the chaos reign. Let the fans celebrate. Let the All-Star game be what it's always meant to be, a love letter to the players. We care about most, not the ones with the most coaching endorsements. And if someone's still sulking in the corner because their players didn't make the cut, that's not a scandal. That's just what happens when the future stops waiting for permission.